right, cool. So welcome to another episode of the Too Many Ideas podcast. I'm your host, Mars. Today we got Luke back with us. We got Corey, and then we got Jake the Snake with us.
What's
Jake,
going on?
tell him a little bit about yourself. Tell him what you do and why you're qualified to be on this here episode.
So this episode we're talking about what? Sneakers, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Professionally, I'm a sneaker authenticator. Full-time, I'm a sneaker enthusiast. I've known y'all since elementary school, middle school, and since then, doing the shoes. So it's just something. It's a full-time passion of mine.
It's been a long time that the niggas in this room have known each other. Yeah. I thought about that the last time when we did the other episode when you came on, and I was just like, damn, we known each other for a really long time. Like a really, really long time. That's kind of wild.
No, I was thinking about that too, just thinking about everybody's style kind of evolving over the years. Really his more so than anybody's. Yeah.
I knew that's where he was gonna go.
Well, I always think about this shit that Jake told me and I brought up on the podcast. He was like, yo, Luke, can you imagine if StockX and all this Instagram shit was a thing when Wale and fucking A$AP Rocky was dressing? I just that would be fucking crazy. That would have been a time. For real. Unless you were rapping and being braggadocious about what you were doing, niggas didn't really know. You feel me?
What you mean?
To me, A$AP Rocky became so pivotal with the Jeremy Scott thing because he was telling you niggas, I'm on rap, I'm on Jeremy Scott. I feel like Wale is kind of, if he was like that, I feel like he got more respect. He wasn't that braggadocious. I mean, he made Nike boots, but
he would just be seen with a lot of the stuff on, and it's just up to you to figure it out.
So you're saying Wale would be cooler now if he was bragging about his clothes and his shoes and shit like that?
Because I think only real sneakerheads give Wale his credit. I don't think an average person.
I agree. Yeah, I've seen in different Facebook groups and stuff where people they'll bring up Wale, and sometimes people that don't know anything or they're new to the sneaker game, it's they don't give him any type of respect, but it's to me, I mean, he's always been
top of his shit.
I wish he bragged more, cause he would brag, and those would be the shoes that popped off. When he would brag on a rap lyric and be I got these LeBrons on. Them niggas, those LeBrons was hard to get now.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that one bar he had. He was black foam posits, we on some mob and shit.
Yeah.
He said that I wore black foam posits to prom. You feel me?
Black foam posits.
He would brag, but that was before StockX and shit. If you just he couldn't have predicted that this was going to be.
Yeah, because then it's if he were to say that right now, somebody's listening to it, got their mama credit card attached to their phone, black phone posit, StockX, go.
Yeah, but we definitely did bring that up on our last episode. Yeah. It was just he would have been the one that has the Travis effect now.
Yeah.
On how Travis does on SBs, Wale would have been that guy to shoot them shits up.
I don't know. Every time I think of SBs, man, it's I feel damn, I think I might just be old. Cause just to think with Jake being here, SBs were a normal fucking thing. It was just Jake.
But what's crazy about that? We were really late to the party, bro. A lot of us, when we started wearing SBs, even though we were still some of the first ones, in our demographic to wear them, that was 2010, and we was wearing shoes from 06, 08.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
We didn't even get to experience a lot of those releases.
But even then, the hype on SBs was kind of late in general. People who was wearing SBs.
I bought my Mosquito SBs off Flight Club for 170.
Yeah, bro. So, it would be shocking to see SBs over there past 180, maybe 200 back then.
Yeah, for real. And when they first dropped, they just wasn't that popular. It was more so literally just for the skate community.
I didn't know
around that same time we started to pick up on it, and then what were you about
probably
to say?
Jake could piggyback off this. I didn't know until the Warren Lowe situation that those pigeons and all those big SBs is what saved the SB for Nike because they weren't really investing into it. I didn't know that. Yeah, because they were kind of on the fence about that whole SB thing, but that kind of brought light to the whole thing. Yeah, I didn't know that until the Warren Lotus thing happened.
It's crazy to think about how something can start and have no traction. Nobody really cares about it, and then just kind of almost out of nowhere, it's
Instantly.
the biggest thing. The biggest thing.
It's not that nobody cares about it. It's just that SBs and concept SBs they were made for that particular lane of skaters, and it's just it evolved into its own thing where not
people
only
start
just
wearing them for style.
Could you have seen that coming again though?
You said what?
Could you have seen that coming? If you had to just pick,
No, and that's what I'm saying because it's it evolved to a thing where it's big sneakerheads. Maybe they didn't skateboard or whatever, but they're big into shoes.
Yeah.
So it's they can fall in love with the concept behind the shoe, the design, whatever. But it's now a 5th or 6th grader that doesn't know nothing, but they know Dunk. They know I need a Nike SB. My tag needs to say SB, not Nike Air. They know that. But even though they don't know anything about the concept of what's behind the shoe or whatever, And I never thought that it would be something like that because when I first found SBs, that's what made me so passionate about them. Was like, yo, like I found something over here in this corner that nobody know about, so I can just go over here and get swag. And they're like, where did this come from?
Exactly.
And
but now it's like mainstream.
That's really like sneaker culture in general. Like going off, that's what people, at least like us, that want to do. We want to go off in that corner and find something that hasn't been tapped into yet,
right?
And make that shit hot. Like that's basically like what we do. And I feel like that's kind of like going into our conversation, what people are trying to do with their own shoe thing.
Y'all about to ask Jake why he hates Warren Lotus. Like
we'll get to that in a second. Hold on. Corey, what was your point?
But like while he was bringing up like concept shoes, and I could be wrong, but I really do feel I was watching hella shoe documentaries before, and I can't remember which SB it was, and you probably gonna know.
Don't give me all the credit.
No, not all the credit, but it's just like I think it was like the lobster. Like before pop ups really was a pop up thing. Like the Pigeons definitely had a pop up to save that shoe, and that shit broke New York.
Right.
Then there was one before that. Well, no, after the Pigeons, this is when I feel like SBs was really pivoting the pop up concept.
Yeah.
Like because before we had Undercover, before we had Nike Lab, like they really had that one. I think it was the Lobsters. And they had like a pop up in New York, and it was just like the whole space was like you walked into a fresh fish market, but on the ice was the lobsters.
Yeah. I think it was the blue lobsters.
It was. And I was like,
they did a whole thing for those where like. I think they had like a lobster like blow up thing or something. I feel like I remember seeing that. Like,
and that shit's crazy. Like but all SBs that we really love, like De La Souls is one of my favorite ones. They all have like. I'm not saying shoe design ain't getting like how it used to, but storytelling was really the whole
I feel like
shoe.
SBs is where Nike kind of like allowed a little bit more like freedom for creativity. Yeah. Like, because you think about all these SB colorways, they're all so, how would you describe them? Like,
authentic,
but like they have a certain like aspect to them. They have a concept, like you said, a concept,
very
like you said, like a story.
Original.
They have a story to them.
Like
Nike shoes don't really have that.
My favorite
like
are the Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Mans. Like I love those SBs.
Those go hard.
I love the baby bears, mom bears,
I think what
bears.
makes
Those
them
are
so
crazy.
good is like SBs, and I'm gonna say this, and I can't even think of any real examples, but it's like SBs. They're able to take a concept from inanimate. That's the wrong word. But lifeless objects, but they can also give concept to people or famous characters or whatever. Versus a lot of times we see like in basketball shoes, it's like, oh, this is the
highlight.
Space Jam. This is the highlight. This is the 2K, whatever. But it's like with SB, it's like, no, this is the Larry Perkins, which is based on like a prank phone call, ringing phone, or no, this is like you said, the Miss Pac-Man, like. Or even
I know exactly what you mean.
Eric Costin, whatever.
There's more creativity in those
exactly.
things. Yeah.
And I also think that Nike is now trying to do that a little bit more with their other shoes, because I know like with like Kyrie's, I forgot he had like a shoe where it was like his favorite show or something, where they let him like kind of like build off that, and then they had, I think they did like SpongeBob something like with
they did like a SpongeBob pack.
Yeah, they're starting to do like stuff like that with their other shoes. I think they're kind of starting to peep that people are kind of caring about storylines behind their sneakers a little bit more, whereas they might not have before with SBs before.
I feel like that's what's missing in the sneaker game overall. Like, I just feel like niggas are not telling stories.
Because it's so much money to be made so quickly, bro. Like, I still think about that shit he says about the whole Travis Scott and A$AP Rocky thing, because it's like that's a whole discussion within itself. I'm just like, why hasn't A$AP Rocky been as big as he should be? You know what I mean, with fashion and collabs and all this stuff. I'm just
I mean, the way I look at it is like, so when Travis was like on his rise, as far as like fashion goes, I think that it's like everybody on the internet and everywhere, it's like, yo, Travis is like one of the best dressed celebrities there is. Like, look how he puts these fits together. Then he starts getting collabs, you know, and so on. And it's like, he just takes it to the moon. Versus like when A$AP Rocky was in that conversation and people are like trying to dress like him and people were saying he's the best dressed. It's like, he didn't go anywhere with it. It's like, yeah, he had like some small in collaboration. I don't want to say small, but he had like, he had a different lane of collaborations. He didn't have something that could touch the masses like a McDonald's collaboration or a Nike collaboration.
But to me, that's why I was discussing with Mars. I feel like, I don't know if this is true, but I feel like Rocky was more about his worth. Like, hey, I can go work with the Urban Outfitters, but I want Raf. And if it's not Raf, I'm good. Yeah. I feel like that's what we're seeing. You know what I mean? Like, I told Mars, I was like, I'm pretty sure McDonald's has tried to collab with a few other people. I wouldn't be surprised. But it's about the money. Because actually, the numbers did come out with what Travis made. And I was shocked. I was like, I thought it would have been way more than this. Because to me, I forgot how much Under Armour offered Rocky, but it was more off the initial shoe.
Right.
Of course, Travis is gonna make more off of everything, but off the initial shoe itself, Rocky was making more, and I was shocked about that. And so I was just like, yeah.
Rocky is definitely more particular with how he decides to do his stuff. Travis is kind of like, oh, there's a bag there, I'm going for it.
Well, to be fair, I mean, it's give and take, because it's like Travis, he got to do what nobody really gets to do, as far as like he took.
I feel like he does see it that way too sometimes,
and he got to like tweak it, you know. So it's like maybe if Rocky got to do that with Raph, like you said, it's like maybe he didn't want. It's like, yo, like I don't want my own Jeremy Scott, or I don't want my own Jordan 4, or like whatever. Like I want to go make my own Raph piece with Raph Simmons.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he was asking for a while. Yeah, and that's came about with the whole HBA disc, because he wanted HBA as his own thing. Like, so I think Drake has a point there. And even with the Travis Scott thing, I just feel like it's funny. I don't know if you've seen on Twitter where Travis Scott had his own like coloring markers or whatever, and it said Cactus Jack on it, and niggas was like, damn, Travis would brand anything. Like it would brand anything.
He literally will brand everything. Nigga will make a table.
Like yes, yeah. Like it's crazy to me, because it's like, did we make this? Because no diss or nothing, I never thought Travis could dress. Like even back then when he was rocking the Ben Trills and the HBAs, I was just like, this guy's terrible. Like this shit is terrible. But I like his music, of course, but I never thought he could dress. Like, I mean, now it's cool. He has more money than then, so yeah, but I don't know. I just never really...
I think the kids really look up to how he dresses. Like people like below us are really like looking at Travis Scott as like the style icon.
I think that's
Travis is like our generation, a little bit older, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, he's got millions and millions of dollars. So to me, it's like I think I've said this to you before. It's like, to me, Travis dresses exactly how I would dress if I touched millions.
Yeah.
Like I would go back and buy all that, because he's buying all the shoes.
Yeah, all the stuff we grew up on.
That I grew up wanting, you know. So it's like,
that might be it.
That needs to be a clip. That whole discussion we just had, let's make that a separate clip, because that was a good point. That's very true. Yeah.
Damn, I ain't never thought about it like that.
But,
like he literally dresses how probably back
like
when,
a casual dress.
Back if I was
he has
my
the
younger
casual,
self,
but the $1 million casual.
Yeah,
like,
million dollar
literally,
casual. Yeah, that's great.
I would be casually not wearing these orange SBs. I'd be wearing some Supreme SBs. Like, that's him.
Yeah,
wow.
that's true.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And to even Jake's point, is just the fact that what he was doing, what his branding is for more so the masses. I feel like when we were looking up at A$AP Rocky, when we were liking A$AP Rocky, it was a crowd, it was a niche. You know what I mean? If you knew Rocky, you knew what he was about. It wasn't made to be everywhere and everything down your throat. So
yeah, Rocky wasn't really big when we thought he was big.
Yeah,
like he wasn't.
Right.
Yeah,
and I mean, and a lot of his credit, like he did pay. He was trying to pave a way while Travis was already touching ways that's already been established.
True.
So it's kind of like, I don't know if he ever would have been as big, but I do feel like over time, like now we still give him his flowers. Like we're talking about him. Like
that's one person I ain't gonna lie, I would love. Like I'm not even into interviews and shit, but he's one of many that I would like to interview. Like person like, yo, bro, why are you like so behind the scenes? You feel me? Because I would not be shocked if he'd be like, bro, I made 10 minutes off a rap. I was like, oh shit. Like you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be shocked if he said some shit like that. Like, oh, I made this month about this. You know what I mean? So
because I feel like it's like part of the things that happened to him was because of the industry he was going into.
Yeah.
So it was like, damn, he probably did want to do some shit, but they probably had some doors that's blocked. I mean, we saw Ye go on the whole rant like, I couldn't get in this spot. I couldn't get in this spot. So like, imagine what even A$AP, who was beloved, still was probably having blockers.
Yeah, if we take like the whole Ye situation about him talking about trying to get on the board here and trying to get on the board there, and we kind of like take it down a notch to like a A$AP or like a Travis or like a Drake or anyone who would be trying to do that, and them getting those same kind of blockings, and maybe they would make the decision to just not go that way. You know, maybe with Under Armour they didn't block him like that kind of thing. So that kind of makes sense as well.
Because he may have been like, yo, I can't assume, I don't know, but that man could have probably been in talks with Raph and be like, yo, Raph, I really have these ideas I want to do. And Raph was like, that's fire. But look, you can help me with this.
I mean,
he's like, damn.
Ian has been stated like Rocky took Ian and they went into design rooms with Raph. They've talked to Raph. So it's like, I think Jake's biggest point, which is clear, just like what they were intending to do. You know what I mean? Like Rocky his intentions weren't never this. You know, it wasn't to be for the masses. I think
it's like what we wanted for him.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, that's just not
what he wanted.
That's not really what he wanted to do. I think the Jeremy Scott, the Raph, the what fours he had on, the white cement fours, all that type of stuff that he was wearing was like, if you know, you know, that's it. And his whole thing was really for New York, like, yo, I'm doing for the kids in Brooklyn, the Harlem kids that think people are gay because they dress like this way, and that was pretty much it. So yeah,
for real.
Speaking of Rocky, Travis, and the things that they do, let's get into our conversation about this whole debacle between custom shoes
I gotta love
versus.
Jake's.
I already know your point of view. That's why you're perfect for
He's about to
being
go
here
so hard
right now,
like,
because
this
he
dude
hates.
hates this shit.
So
hate is a strong word.
just to put it out there for people, we're talking about like your original Jordans, whatever, and then this advent that a lot of people are doing now, where they're making like their own versions of Jordans and SBs, kind of like changing the
Any Nike
changing
silhouette,
the
really.
swoosh. Yeah, any Nike silhouette.
Iconic silhouette.
Yeah, yeah, and kind of like making their own shoe brand based around Nike, essentially.
Yeah.
And like the controversy about it is, do those count as like real shoes on their side, or are they just like fakes of the original Nike's Jordans? You know, like, for example, the Warren Lotus situation and him getting sued by Nike and then still being able to kind of like do his thing. Like, I felt that situation lends its way to say that his shoes and any shoes like that are real shoes, because he's still able to perform and put his shoes out. Like, they came to a settlement agreement and he's still doing what he does, and it's still kind of like a similar model.
Yeah.
So
What do you think, Jake?
Well, I mean, what Warren Lotus was doing, like with his dunks, though, he was walking like a real fine line between faking,
most definitely,
between faking something and bootlegging.
Yeah.
You know, where as bootleg, you know, you're taking you're taking an original design and you're putting your own interpretation of it. You know, versus faking something. You know, you're trying to mimic a Nike swoosh or whatever. So that's why it's like Nike, they sued him based off of that whole Jason Mass swoosh. You know, and like that's on them as far as like what they decide to do as far as what's considered right and wrong for fake or bootleg. I don't know. That's for somebody else to decide. But the shoe itself, the reason I hate it is he advertised it as something that it wasn't. He advertised it as like, oh, this is a premium product, you know, handmade with Italian leathers and all that. I don't know about y'all, but I've seen the shoe in hand, held the shoe in my hand. The shoe is a fake ass dunk from China. Like, it stinks. You can smell the glue in it. Like, it doesn't look right. There's glue stains on the shoe, like within the stitching. There isn't perfect stitching throughout. It's a fake dunk. Now, and that's why I said it's all on the individual about like what you deem is like what you fuck with versus what you don't, you know? So it's like, I'm not gonna tell anybody they're wrong for liking that stuff or wearing it, whatever, but I don't care for it. But what a lot of people might not fuck with that I think is cool, like there's a guy on YouTube named Maxio6. He makes his own Jordan 1s. Like, but he makes them with Nike swooshes, Air Jordan logos, Nike tags, all that. So like, basically it's a fake, you know? And it's like, whoa, you're fucking with fakes. But his videos are like 30 minutes long, and he's showing you how he's actually shaping the shoe. Yeah. He's not going online or calling somebody in another country and just saying, yo, get me a Nike Dunk or a Jordan 1 silhouette and slap a penis instead of a swoosh on it or whatever the fuck, you know?
And I think I'm so happy you brought that point up, because Mars, I forgot how you said it. He probably remember when I talk about it. It's more about what you're falling for with the shoe rather than the shoe itself. Like, you like the video, you like the process, you like this dude for what he's essentially standing for. And I feel like someone like me, and I think Mars agrees, the reason why we were standing for Warren, it was kind of like the small man versus the big man, essentially. Right. And then we've been following Warren for years. Story behind it, Like, so it was like oh shit.
Way before he was doing
way
shoes.
before he did that.
Way
so
before he was doing anything like this whole NBA series that he started doing, like way before that.
So it was like to see him get this far off of that was like, oh my God, like he's really done it. To your point, you kind of just looking at it and being like, and you authenticating shoes like, okay, this is just terrible.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
It's not like a good quality product. You know what I'm saying?
I guess like the answer to the question I would ask is, if it was a good quality product, would you fuck with it differently?
I think my feelings on it would definitely be different, but it's just like, bro, like you're just tricking people into buying something cheap to line your pockets. So that's how I look at it. Like that might not even be right, you know? But that's how I look at it. I look at it as like, yo.
So do you view it as a fake, or do you view it as a bootleg?
I think it's a fake, because I mean the Jason mask is too close to a swoosh. I mean, I've seen some of his newer designs, what he's doing now after this, like cool, whatever. Yeah. It's different, but what he started out trying to do originally, like, no, bro, like you were making fakes, and then you were lying about it, saying like, no, like I understand, like, you know, it resembles a Nike Dunk tremendously, but look, like this is handmade Italian leathers, and it takes months for us to make these shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You get the shoes in hand; they're made on an assembly press or whatever in some factory in China.
Exactly.
And they're just fakes. Like there's nothing special about them.
So me, James, and Mars had this discussion. We're like, do you think you'll ever come to the point where like the fakes or the what were we calling them, the customs, whatever, is even worth more than the originals? Because I was saying, I think if it wasn't for that Nike lawsuit, if that did not happen, I'm 1,000% sure that those shoes would have been it for him. Because like, so James was like, nah, bro, like it's done. He already got like enough money off of the first two he dropped. I'm talking about the pigeons right now. And he was like, yeah, the first two that he ever dropped will probably be the best. I think it was the Heinekens, right?
It was the Jason ones were like the red and white, and then he did the Heineken one.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, I don't see it passing that.
Wait, he did a Stussy one too, didn't he?
It didn't come out.
That was after that. Yeah, it never came out.
So I was like, James, I can see where I think his trajectory is like, yo, if a celebrity, which he's already known to have, wears one of these shoes, aka a Travis Scott, a Kylie Jenner, that motherfucker's gonna go up. He was like, nah, bro, they're not gonna get into that. And so clearly didn't happen. Shoes pretty much done for it. But what did happen, not sure if you keep up with Fugazi, Drake just wore Fugazi pair of ones, and Drake is signed to Nike. Yeah. And so I showed it to Mars. I'm like, bro, I can see this being a thing. Like this is gonna have to get handled.
Well,
like
that was really interesting.
Well, I don't know the whole story behind like the Fugazi ones, but I've seen those in person too. I've held those in hand. I like those.
I'm not gonna lie, it's just hard.
The craftsmanship
I like
those
those.
is nice.
Yeah, they are.
It's nice. Like, I don't know what goes into the assembly of those shoes or anything, but I can tell that it's like the whole assembly isn't happening outside of this person's view, and they just get them in and sell them. They're not playing a middleman. That's what Warren Lotus was doing basically. He was like, hey, take this fake dunk and take my little fake swoosh, throw it on there. And look, we're gonna tell people that I've got these handmade whatevers. Yeah. But he was playing middleman to a fake factory or whatever. Mm-hmm. But to me, like those Fugazis, they're not that at all. Like I love the quality.
The leather on this is amazing. Yeah. But I feel like the question or like whatever the question, discussion is like, is it gonna come to the point where that has to be handled? So like the whole Nike thing that happened with the mom and the son and the shoes and reselling and shit like that. I feel like if that had to be quote unquote handled, I don't think it really was, but publicly handled, is it gonna come to the point where Nike has to just go ahead and just stop this in total? Because I feel like if someone as big as Drake is caught wearing that, like that's a fucking problem.
One of their biggest
that's
their
a problem.
Star people.
Their
that
biggest
sign.
One of
Like that's like if Travis wore Warren Lotus, that would be a problem. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like how does that affect their business market? How does that affect like how people view them? How people view those shoes? That kind of gives those shoes a little bit more weight against Nikes. And so now, like what you were saying, those prices might exceed Nikes.
Because I think that was Nike's biggest thing with Warren was that, which I think was a little overhyped. But they were saying that like since the like mass production of Warren Lotus SBs, it's killed the hype on their shoes. And I was just like, no fucking way. Like no way. It probably did tiny bit maybe, but like I guess enough for them to be like, nah.
I think their point was that it's like, like, so the Heineken SB exists, or like the Jasons, like they exist, and it's like these shoes are valued at X amount of dollars wherever, and it's like you're flooding the market with these fakes.
Exactly.
And as the market is flooded with these fakes, the more accepted they are, the lower the price of our product becomes. So you're a detriment to our business.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I agree. It's like, how can Nike really say that when like the Heinekens came out 15 years ago?
Exactly.
Or whatever, they don't make any type of profit off of resale, so we think. Or
that's the argument.
That's the big thing.
That's the argument
right there. They don't make any money off of resale, so it's like you already got your money for all the Heinekens that are out there or whatever. But I guess it's all about perception. Whereas it's like they don't want people saying, well, fuck Nike, I won't go to them anymore because I can't get their shoes. I'll just go to Warren Lotus.
Yeah,
and go ahead.
I was going to say, to answer your question, I feel like the key that you said to like Warren Lotus was the mass production. Like I feel like that's going to really determine if those shoes get more value than Nike shoes, because normally like when we see those high quality shoes, it's like, damn, like that supplier, he couldn't produce enough to make it go extremely wide. Yeah. But he could really target it and put it on a Drake. Or you could put it on this person if it could get that far. Yeah. But then like after that, it's like, damn, can I get another one? Probably can't. But if they can mass produce it.
My discussion even goes as far, because we had this a little bit on the other podcast with Mars. I was just like, to me, with this rave of custom shoes, fakes, whatever you want to call it, I don't know what stops a celebrity from just not making their own shit. Like, what if Travis just says, okay, my Nike deal's done. I'm making my own thing now because I feel like Nike's kind of in the position in the world that I view them. I can't say this for everybody. I think they're leaning on collabs like most people are right now.
Their resources stretch so much further than what any individual could. That's why nobody.
No, that's the argument. Yeah, me and Mars said that. It's like no one wants to go that far and no more. Yeah, that's definitely true. But to me, it's like, would they, if they deem Warren Lotus somewhat of a problem, I can only imagine what they would deem a Drake or Kanye or Travis Scott. You feel me?
Like if they decided to buck the system,
like that,
and they make like Cactus Jacks,
like really their own indie type of situation. I can only imagine how that would affect them because if, like I said, at the end of the day, Warren Lotus is pretty small, bro. Like he's making a little impact in the world, but he's not no fucking Travis Scott. Yeah, he's not no Drake. So it's like if that can affect them, I can only imagine if one of those type guys is like, all right, I'm done.
You know what I mean? It's a similar conversation to like when a athlete changes from one brand to another brand and how that kind of might bring that brand down, or they might have to find someone to replace them. Like just imagine if, Jordan took his talents to Adidas like halfway through. Like we got up to the 5s and then after that we got 6s to 23s on Adidas. Yeah. Like how would that change? That would probably have changed the whole landscape of what Adidas and Nike is right now.
Him specifically, because I feel like Jake kind of said it was like Nike to me, and like I don't have all of my business acumen to kind of back it up. I feel like they're like the monopoly. And
Good
like
word there, acumen.
Huh?
Good word there, acumen.
Yeah. But I feel like they literally have enough resources to where I don't think they went after Warren Lotus for the budget price. It's for the control factor. Like I feel like they touch so many. Like I guess like the best way I could put it, like phones, like Apple's products get perceived to be the highest thing, but really Samsung and Google really control all the phones.
Yeah.
Like resources, like, oh, these are Google's chips, these are Samsung's chips, and an Apple phone. I feel like Nike is that same way. Like, oh yeah, Adidas, like, you're going to make your shoes, but like, you're working with us in our factories because we own these factories. Yeah. So like, boom, like, so if an artist did want to go that big, they're going to have to fight like the resource battle, like heavy, because Nike has so many backdoor deals, but just from years of
them. To me, it's not like, and this is, I'm not really just trying to ride the whole Warren tip, but to me, this is why it's so crazy to me that perception is really a thing, because it's not a problem for them to do that. But to me, what the problem is the perception of like another brand doing that. You know what I mean? Of Travis doing it or Drake doing that, because Kanye's doing that with Adidas. You feel me? The foam runners was made here. You feel me? It was like I got my shoes in the day. You feel me? Them shit was made in Atlanta, which I was so shocked about. I was like, this man is really trying.
Yeah, but the company Continental that makes the soles for Yeezys, they're right next to Six Flags. You pass them on Riverside.
See? So it's like,
I know that.
Yeah. To me, it's like the perception is like, yeah, Kanye, do your thing. Tell the world you're doing your thing, but we know we're good off of this money. You feel me? But not as different if that brand is literally doing their own thing. They don't even got to make it too much money, but they're literally doing that's just completely different. I feel like it's a bigger threat to them, or seen as a bigger threat, I should say. So I don't know. I feel like that discussion could be had back and forth all day.
It is a perception thing with Nike. Like it just is.
But I feel like it's kind of easy for us to say all this. You know, they can have like.
Well, I mean, literally any activity that you can think of, Nike makes a shoe for. But you think about someone like Kanye, and it's like he tries to make a basketball Yeezy, and people are like, "Why are you making those? Yeah, stay in your lane." And it's like stuff like that is why it'll be really hard for an individual, even if they are as famous as Kanye or Travis Scott, to put together a brand or a line of shoes that's really going to compete with Nike or Adidas or anybody.
Yeah, it's about just being around for so long and then being able, like you're saying, the resources is really matters. I think this could even go as far as to say with Rihanna having to close down her brand with LVMH and everything, because it was like, I feel like she has unlimited supplies of stuff, but she's still having to compete with other brands and price them at other brands. Kid Super had posted this thing on his story. He was just like, which I didn't even really think about, but like, let's think of Senses and what other sites are like that, or Essence.
And then Farfetch.
Like those type of sites have a minimum, bro. Like he was like, he posted on his story, he was like, they don't be trying to take him in because his prices are too low, and I was just like, wow, I would have never thought of that. Like. He was like, yo, I can compete with these brands, but it's the fact that my price points aren't competing with these brands. It's not a thing for them. And I never thought that was an issue. And I was just like, wow, it really gave me a perspective. Because even I forgot what designer me and B was looking into, but there's a thing basically, I think it might have been Pierre Moss or a few other people, but black designers, and it was saying how if you come up as a designer now, really in general, and your price points don't match a Gucci, a LV, or nothing like that, you're deemed as serving your crowd. So what that means is if Luke comes up, right, and I have $30, $40 shirts, right? Mm-hmm. No one's gonna take me serious in the fashion crowd because I'm trying to please you guys. Jake comes up and serves you $120 shirts, $150 shirts. He's taken seriously because he's pleasing the world. He's not trying to. The minorities is not who you should be trying to please. No. And I never thought of that. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like it's just crazy how much really goes into like a shoe, a price, a this, a that. Like
that's like capitalism and marketing, like 101. Like, and it's just so weird that you said that like that because I just recently found out something about completely unrelated, but Trader Joe's. I don't know if y'all knew this, but they don't put Trader Joe's in neighborhoods that don't where the median or mean or whatever income isn't over 100.
The medium income, the average income.
Isn't over 100,000.
Oh shit.
And
Trader Joe's.
And it's not expensive, right?
Yeah.
But they only put it there because it's viewed as status, and that's what it's for, and that's why it's only in those neighborhoods, even though it's cheap.
Damn, it's a lot
of
Whole
Foods.
There's so many good clips in here.
Whole Foods acts the same way though.
Yeah,
and that's why I say like Nike it's a perception game through and through.
That shit like that amazes me.
If you think about it, you're a little kid. If we pull any like younger kid out and say, "Hey, you want some sporting shit?" What are they gonna say? Nike. Yeah. If you go to a football game, Nike. Like these niggas don't even have to sign a Nike contract. They're wearing Nike Russell.
When you get that big, everything is branding and marketing. Another thing that I learned about, completely unrelated again, is that in movies, like, and you probably have seen this on TikTok, where it's like I've seen a bunch of videos where it's like the bad guy will never have an Apple phone. The bad guy never, because in any movie, Apple puts it in there, and they put it in like their contract that, hey, our phones can only be used by like good people or like, you know, just people the bad guy will never have an iPhone. Right. That's a real deal thing. And if you look back at it and look at like different kind of movies, like I researched it after the history of that. Like I was just like, oh wow, that guys really don't hold iPhones.
That would explain like the computers, because I used to think just Apple would generally not like Apple computers in any movie, and then it'd be like some movies you see an Apple logo, and I'd be like, damn, why is this movie okay but not this movie? And now I'm gonna go back and look at it and be like, damn, was you the protagonist?
Yeah, you gotta really think about it and it just goes so much wider than that when you really like try to think deeper about it. Like, okay, why is this Apple computer in this movie? And then you could probably look into the background and say, hey, this is a big budget movie, da-da-da-da. Why isn't it in this one? Because it's a cheaper movie or whatever. Like, there's probably so many like background things that go into the branding, the marketing for them, where they're just like, okay, we're not gonna put our products here. But we will over here.
Do you feel like that's what happened with like kind of like the brand perception of Supreme?
Nah.
What you mean?
Like the price points.
Nah. Only reason why I'm saying that no to Supreme, which is one of the few brands.
I think they're in their own lane.
Yeah.
That was just a question. Yeah. I just wanted to see what y'all think, because I agree.
They're in their own lane. Like they've done something that everybody tries to like copy, but what they have is just the testament of time.
Exactly.
And that's why they're able to do it. But like they totally defy. Like I agree with everything that he said about designing and price points, but it's like
they go against
Supreme defies all of that.
Yeah,
but that's because it's like Supreme could literally open a store in every state in the United States if they wanted to. Numbers, you feel me? And
everything would still sell out the exact same.
And they could restock their shit too, and that shit would still be selling out.
Agreed.
You know? So it's like they purposely do that because they're like, hey, look, like. Yeah, we could expand our business, but then we might only last another 20 years. But if we keep it this way and stay as limited as possible, we'll be here forever.
Yep. So I have a question like about Supreme. So we all know like you have those box logos. Okay, cool. You get those. You can resell those for a lot. But like even the basic tees, the most basic of stuff, right, still sells out in like that minute time frame. Like you only got 60 seconds to get anything on Supreme that's dropping on a Supreme drop. But then you go on the resale market and you making like $10 off it. Like how does that work for people? Like why are they still hyping it up as much?
Kind of what Jake said. It's Supreme. Like it's
just
at this point
name?
that Nike at this point is bigger than life. Like that's essentially what it is, bro. Like
it's cop and holds too, bro. Like a lot I agree with you. A lot of that stuff like the Nike beanies that just came out last week for week 2 or whatever. Like, I think they're only reselling for maybe $15-$20 above right now on StockX.
Yeah, like stuff that breaks, people are still going crazy for it.
And the worst color, maybe only $10 over, you know. But next season, people that bought 15, 20 of those, whatever, next season, next year, next winter, they'll put them on StockX and they'll be able to make $40 a beanie. Because people are like, oh, well, people, they don't even think to really look into the stuff. They just know it's like, oh, well, I'm only cool if I wear Supreme, but I'm lame if I wear the newest Supreme. So let me go on StockX and I'll buy some archived Supreme.
Hear me out. I love this. So hear me out. I had this conversation with B. This is probably a thing or growing, right? I said, do you think I could make a store that just has archived things? And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, not vintage, because it would just be like Supreme, Jeremy Scott, Raf, and things like that just passed already. You just missed the release, so now it's archived. Because this generation, if you miss it, it's archived. Basically.
Literally.
So I was like, do you think I'll be able to make something like that to where you rent? So basically, think of Sam's Club. You got a card, you pay.
You're gonna, bro. I don't know if you've seen. I'll send it to you. I gotta find it. I saw a video like 4 or 5 years ago about a guy that like he's a vintage T-shirt collector, but he also collects a lot of Raf and shit like that. Yeah. Bro, he was like rents out his Raf and shit to Quavo and all. Like, I think he supplied some of the clothes for the Quavo and ASAP Rocky, the Raf video and Playboy Cardi. Like, he supplied some of the clothes for that. Like, that's essentially what I was about to say. Like, I can rent you clothes, and then you can also have a membership with me. So, right, each month will be a different designer. Let's say January, you guys have a membership or whatever, right? And I'm like, hey guys, for the month of January, I will have all Jeremy Scott and Raf. And you have this membership, right? And it'll give you like an extra 30% off or whatever because you're already paying monthly for it. And you'll come in. Or on top of that, with your membership, because average people can come in, but they have to pay to come in. With this membership, you can rent and you have first dibs on renting. And she was like, yeah, but I don't know, like how. So she was just saying, like, I think it'll just depend on how people view that clothes, like how important they view it. I think it's a good idea, and people clearly already started it. But I think it comes to the point that the brands will just start trying to knock that. Like, imagine me having a full LV archive store, and they're not gonna rock with that. They're gonna find some way to stop that. You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean LV will try to stop you from having the LV archive store?
Yeah, depending on how big I get, like these archives, they'll be like, nah, bro, like you're essentially over accessible. Nah.
It'll be like kind of like the same thing. With the Warren Lotus situation.
Yeah, but
like,
I think
it's too close to home for them.
I think what Drake said is true about Supreme, and bringing it back to that topic. Like, my favorite brand was the Hundreds, and that time period in general, I just loved clothes, the Hundreds, Diamond Supply, and all that. And people always like, oh, you know, it sucked. Oh, it did this. I'm like, nah, bro, they were just trying to eat. They were really just trying to eat. They just oversupplied the market like fuck, but they were trying to eat. And a lot of those brands I won't say went from nothing to something, but for that time period, they went up awfully fast. Like, I don't know if no one knows this, but Obey blew up off of stickers. Like, this dude went from giving people stickers to putting that same sticker on a shirt, and that was it. You feel me? So of course these people were like, let's keep it going, let's keep it going, let's keep it going. Not everybody was as fortunate as the Supreme. Not sure who was all on that team at the beginning to be like, nah. Let's kind of like, nah. Yeah. We're gonna give them what they need, but nothing more, and barely what they need. You know what I mean? Yeah. So to Jake's point is the fact that people hate it so much. Oh, drop more. But I love things like that. If anything, I would say Supreme could drop more, as in like how often they drop. But I think their numbers are straight. If you get it, you get it. And if you, like Mars said, if you don't get the box logo, there's still other things you can cop on there. Exactly. Like, it's not like they're telling you only get this box logo. We're just deeming that the hype is thing, but there's other things you could cop on there.
There's plenty of other stuff that looks good, looks cool or whatever, but it's just like, it doesn't have that same hype. So you can still get it. Even after resale, like, damn, I didn't cop this off of Supreme, I can go to StockX, pay 10 extra.
Like, it's not that deep. I really like Supreme, but I can't wear a box logo, bro.
I'm not gonna hold you. I was about to bring up a box logo, and this is to kind of Jake's point. I can't either, but I had to cop that Murakami, bro. Like, I was like, yo, I had to. I copped it off the resale, but it dropped drastically. It dropped drastically in a couple months.
Because I feel like you about to say you can't wear a box logo either, right?
Nah.
It's just too weird. It's too. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask both of y'all, why not?
Nah, I was gonna say before we even get into that, like, I feel like how you saying like about Obey, the Hundreds, and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Supreme, like, just how they whole thing started coming from Stussy, like, those two brands have stood the test of time. Yeah. And why? Kind of like to your first point about even like the Warren Lotus situation when you got those shoes. The quality of like a Stussy shirt or a Supreme shirt or a hoodie compared to like some of the other brands were way different and still are. Like, I can still go into go and find it. Like, I don't even keep up with Supreme drops.
Yeah,
But like, I'll go into a store and I'm like, damn, like this is a nice garment, like just a nice like quality garment.
Bro, both of us I know have been got by Supreme like that. Like seeing that Supreme in that store, just like, damn, this is kind of nice. Like put this on, this is kind of good quality here. Let me go.
Yeah, that make that $500 price tag look like.
That's not
know
too
what?
bad.
And to Jake's point, like they've stood time well. Like the Gucci collab, not the Gucci collab, the North Face collabs. Like those are high priced items.
Yeah,
that if it was a
super.
collab with anybody else, it'll be tenfold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, damn, I like that shit though. Like that price point not too bad when you think about it.
Yeah,
Like,
no, for real.
It make you really still fuck with their brands. And
yeah, I think they've been doing it well. I mean, we can go. I think Jake could take it from here, but I think everything that Bape did wrong, Supreme did right.
exactly.
Facts.
Facts.
But no, that's what a lot of people are upset about with Supreme right now. I forgot the name of, what is it? The Carlyle?
Oh yeah,
whatever.
Carlisle
yeah.
Group. That took
Yeah, because it's like, they're in charge of a bunch of like
Other
mall
brands.
sales, like Zoomies and all that shit. So everybody's like, oh, they better not put Supreme, and that will be like the downfall. And I thought that was gonna happen to Bape, and it's like Bape didn't do that, but what they did was instead is just like, yo, like we'll have something available every single day, any
Exactly.
single time, and it's like we're just gonna reprint the same shit
Over and over.
over and over and over. You know,
The Carlisle Group, the LVMH thing that Supreme did, they said they didn't plan on changing anything.
I mean, I don't think they will.
Supposedly. They said if anything, they plan on doing more drops, like bigger drops, but they didn't plan on changing. We'll see. I mean, so far it's been okay. But yeah, the Bape thing was just, I guess we should have seen it coming when everybody left. But like, that's just shocking to me. Like, to have such an iconic brand just give you this.
But,
Well,
I
I mean,
back when
think
Bape was
about it
super
though.
hype.
Think about it, bro. Like the most identifiable Bape thing there is like, just one of those plain black T-shirts that says "a bathing ape" and it has an ape head on it. You feel me?
Yeah.
Bro, like 8 years ago, you saw somebody with a plain ass Bape shirt like that. It's like, damn, like that guy, he does his homework on his outfits. Like he cares about how he dresses. Like he knows about something not everybody knows about or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like now you see that shit everywhere and anywhere. And like coming back to Supreme box logos, like I take that back. I guess I could wear one if I got it for retail. I take
that back.
Yeah, I could never spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on the T-shirt because I feel like even though Supreme probably is doing the right steps to stay in the conversation of like limited high items for a long time, I can see there being a day where it's like the guy that spent thousands of dollars on 10 box logos looks like a fucking idiot because you can go to any Zoomies at Arbor Place Mall or wherever and buy you a box
Yeah, I
logo.
know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
At that time was to come in, it'd just be like a waste of time.
Unless Supreme is that special to you where it's like you really care about archiving those individual pieces and it's like, look, like these T-shirts, they were made from this type of material with these type of prints versus now, they print them on Gillidan and they do that or whatever changes may come.
Yeah.
But that's why it's just like, bro, like I can't spend that kind of money on a box logo. And then I guess the whole wearing it thing, part of me doesn't want to wear it just because of like what it stands for. It's like Supreme has entered to that realm where it's like certain stuff is so expensive. It's like if you're seen wearing it, that's just almost like you trying to say like, I've got so much more money than you. I can afford to wear something that you would sell in an instant.
It's crazy because I've been watching this video. I don't know if y'all do because I know y'all be watching YouTube videos, but it's this channel called Threaducation.
Bro, I watched the fuck.
So he had the video.
Shout out Threaducation. Watch our shit, bro.
Because he had talked about one Supreme, and then he also talked about Bape. Like he had talked about Nego, and so like again, I feel like everything now, like the when we talking about this, I'm like, damn, resources really be fucking these brands up. Cause Nego was doing the exact opposite of Supreme. Like he was pushing out so much that it lost. Like they was like, yo, he had no resources, no more to hold it up. But like Supreme was on the opposite foot. Like, yo, we put this out.
I also feel like I just like to put myself in people's mindsets. I feel like coming from Nego, and you want to watch these documentaries, not too much with him speaking, but like people giving their perception on him. It's like you gotta look at this. This is a dude that, I mean, going down the Hall of Fame if there's a Hall of Fame, but his thing was Western culture, like this, the camo, the Bape, this and that and third. So I think it became to a point, and I could be wrong, that which most designers have is like, how much do I give the culture that I've been inspired by, or how much do I give my people? My people as in his Asian culture. You feel me? And I think that to me was the biggest downfall of Bape. because it even with like Nike does this a lot actually, like a lot. Nike still has a lot of drops specifically just for Japan. You know what I mean? Specifically just for Europe, specifically just here. Yeah, and I feel like with Bape was more like we're gonna do everywhere just at different times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was never just like just here. They do that now at certain Bape stores, Bape New York or Bape whatever, and usually those are collabs, with a rapper or something. But it's not like, hey guys, we're gonna feed you. You know what I mean? And that's a perception thing because now we feel special. Like I'm never gonna forget, Atlanta finally felt like they ate for once when Nike came for the Super Bowl. We were like, finally, like we feel special.
Sneaker store,
like, and it was a simple ass sneaker store.
I didn't even want them damn sixes, but I had a Nike store. Finally, I was like, Nike showed up, so I wanted to buy. I bought those sixes, walked out of there. I was like, it's like the thing is,
I remember thinking like, why did Corey buy them shits? Now I'm like, fuck, I want some infrared. Like, I've been thinking about that for a minute. Like, damn, I want some infrared.
So we all went to the sneaker store. Did you go?
Yeah, I went, but I only went for like one day.
Gotcha.
But I know people that went every single day.
Yeah, we did.
I went one day.
We didn't go on the last day because we was fed up.
I didn't buy anything either. I just went in there. I was just like, wow, this is cool. But I didn't buy anything.
I think we went on the first day and we couldn't get in, and then the second day we did get in,
and then everything was sold out.
And it was just terrible in there.
But they had restarted on them sixes, bro. That was such a happy.
But the thing about it is when you talk to them, and I don't know, I feel like them niggas was lying about everything when we were standing in that line. But they was just like, yeah, no, we didn't really have that. We didn't have that. We didn't have that. All that stuff that they said that they was gonna have, like off-whites and this, that, and the third. They was saying like, yeah, we didn't have those.
Yeah,
like,
man.
And I was just like, wait, what? So y'all just bullshitted me this whole time? I waited in this line for nothing?
I went up there to try to like make one of those Air Force Ones because people was
the custom Air Force.
Yeah.
I mean, not to knock them or anything, but it's like they didn't have too many cool choices. I didn't feel like I could make something that was unique to me.
When we stood in that line, we had all these discussions. Mars was so right. The perception of just waiting in this line thinking you can get something is the whole reason why we're there.
Yeah.
Like that's really it. Like because by the time they were sold out,
I was daydreaming. I'm gonna walk in here and
literally
Red October.
Yes.
It was all just like,
Bro, because I remember us sitting in line second day, we were close enough to just dream now and see. And bro was like, nah, they don't got nothing. I think Corey was with us because he got the sixes. And Corey was like, I'm probably gonna get the sixes because I heard they just restocked. And I'm just like, what the fucking sixes? I ain't staying in the line for no goddamn sixes. Like, I'm getting something cool
everywhere.
Like,
I want these.
At one point, we got in there. I'm like, them undercovers don't look half bad. Like, fuck. Like,
niggas are trying to convince themselves to like something.
Like, damn, bro, I stood in this line.
You waited forever.
Exactly, bro.
You would hear stories about like, and I think that's the fucked up, but it was smart from Nike, like, because we all heard the stories of people that have had those moments. So you're like, damn, if he did it, I can do it too.
You just never
Maybe
know.
I will be the one out of three.
Listen, so like on the weekends, I go up to my aunt's house in North Georgia and like I do my laundry there and all that good stuff. Bro, every time I go there, I pass the Nike outlet and I stop there and I always go in. And it's like every time I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go in here and find like 5 pair of bread forms. I'm going to go in here and just find something crazy. Go in there and eat shit. Nothing.
And then you see that one person on Twitter that's like, yo, they got the whole size run.
I feel like it's always like the same outlets in big market cities like a New York or a LA or something like that.
At one point,
I always see people finding stuff in like Connecticut. Like it'll be like
it'll
be like a Ross in Connecticut with like
some weird shit.
The whole size run.
Listen. This might be another Trader Joe's thing. They might put it in those places where people are deemed as making a lot, where it's status there, and that.
Because I feel
gives
like,
you an
I
opportunity.
don't know about y'all, but I remember every summer I used to go to Orlando for the outlets. Cause I feel like they always had the best outlets. I'm not sure if y'all agree with that.
Yeah.
But the Nike outlet there was busting. I used to be like, can't wait. Can't remember my first time seeing a pair of the icy blue woman 8s. Yeah. I was begging my dad. He was like, those are women's shoes. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Come on, buy them. Never bought them. I was so pissed. But like, Nike really went through a transition period where I think we all seen where it's more of like living situation. They want to make sure they have shoes for everybody. I think it's probably extremely hard to find those aquas or those infrareds now at outlets because everything is like a lifestyle branding, lifestyle shoes, lifestyle this. Like, I hate going to a Nike store now, bro. Like, basketball is everywhere and just telling me to run. Like, goddamn, I get it. Like,
that's what I was gonna say. Like, when I go to the outlets, it's like there's literally nothing in there.
Nothing.
It's just
like,
running.
I'm saying like there's not. I'm not saying like there's nothing in there that like I feel like swagged up. Like, bro, there's literally. I don't even see anything where it's like like Yeah, I'd buy those and like wear those to the gym. They're only $50 or like no, there's nothing.
They're all pretty like basic trainers.
Yeah,
like that's all, everything what I said.
They look like they didn't sell and they're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So they're here.
It's like either it's cleats or what you said.
They're using the outlet. How outlet I guess is intended.
Because I went to go buy some basketball shoes the other day, and I was like, damn, bro, I just want to buy some basketball shoes. And I went in, I was like, yo, do y'all have like anything? And she was like, no, we got these PGs, and then these are like the Kyries, but these are like the LeBrons that aren't the LeBrons. And I was like, what the fuck? They are LeBron shoe though, but they're just like they're not the shoe that you're like. They're not the $160 price tag. They're the $80 price tag, and she's like, they're the same design, but they're not as comfortable. And I'm like, bro,
they're the LeBrons we didn't put on TV.
Yeah, they're the LeBrons we did not put on TV. And I was just
LeBrons
like,
we hid from the public.
If you can't buy the shoes, what the fuck am I here for? I didn't come here for B grade.
That is fucking
I read
funny.
that Nike VP that her son, one of the things that he was doing was going to Nike outlets and buying shoes for like 70% off.
Yeah.
And then putting them on like eBay, Goat, and StockX.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, if you get a shoe that's already on sale for like $50 and then you turn around and get a super discount and get it for $15,
I think
you flip it for $35 and you do that 100 times. Like,
they do that. I think they can do that like
for
once a month or something. This dude on TikTok does it. Like he shows like cause they have rules too, like about buying things at Nike outlets, especially when your person works there or whatever. And he bought like mad Forces and like average day shoes that are typically sold out essentially. And everybody in the comments was like, is this not illegal? What the fuck is this not? And he was like, nah, I followed every single rule or whatever. But to that kid's fault or whatever in point, I don't know what he was doing. And this is where I say resale is taking over life. This man was making $250,000. That's fucking crazy, bro. I can't stop thinking about it.
That's easy when you get everything.
But it's not even just that. It's the fact that to me that shoes are that like think about like how much you can really we're really there. Like not couple years ago, niggas busting off the fucking Facebook trying to you want these sevens? I know you want these sevens, nigga.
Bro, the prices we would do for shoes back then.
Yeah, like
you would not even fathom that price.
Yeah, because bro, you could have got a good pair of infrareds for the $120. You go on Facebook Market, they just gonna be beat, and they gonna be like a little $80-$90 now. Fuck out of here, beat. You looking at $190. The fuck?
Bro, like the most I've spent on a pair of shoes now, like I think was in like 2020. It's probably like around like $800-$900.
Which one was those?
Like that. Probably like Off-White Dunks.
Gotcha.
But I remember being like a senior in high school or even like a year after high school working like at Foot Locker and shit, and it's like, bro, the most I ever spent on a shoe is like $300.
Yep.
Like and that is crazy. That's crazy. So thinking about that, it's like, bro, like if I would have been willing to spend like $600-$700, I probably could have got a shoe that's worth like crazy
money right now.
2, 3, 4 bands right now.
Just through thinking that, like I forgot. It's one of the guys from the show with Trinidad James, one of the two white guys. But they uploaded a screenshot of Flight Club from like 2008 or something like that.
And the price difference. Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I seen that.
I think they had Paris Dunks on that, like the Paris SBs that now sell for like $60,000. Yeah, they were on Flight Club for like $4,000 or $3,000. What the Dunks were. $700, $800. Those shoes go for 10 bands now.
Yeah.
So it's just
because we used to look at that price and be like, "Damn, that's crazy."
Bro,
that's a lot. That's a lot.
I used to look at Aqua 8s every day as a child. Damn, $200.
$200.
$200.
You like fuck now? I'm like 200.
Yeah, like
that's straight. Like that's
anything from like 160 to 200. Like it's regular, whatever. That's regular, whatever.
That's retail.
That's retail.
But
it's crazy.
Because I remember I was trying to get the white cements. Remember, I was like, fuck. I was like, yo. I really used to wear white cements. I had like at least 3 pairs, and just because once I always had heel drag and like scuffs on the heel, so I would always keep rotating pairs. But like recently, I was like, damn, I kind of missed the black cements and white cements. And I told Mars, why the hell do I go on StockX to find the white cements? And them shits are $500 pair of shoes. I said, whoa.
What Jake said is so true because even your example, like you just look at old shit like you like as a child, you're like, yeah, it's like $200-$300. What the fuck? Like that shit's crazy. Like,
Mars like, the white cements.
That happens to me all the time because I'll be telling myself like, okay, I'm older, I'm making some money now. So I can go get me one of them $300 shoes. Like, and then you get on there and it's like, damn, that shoe's $700. Like, fuck.
Or band now.
My $300 don't stretch like it used to.
Like the Bordeaux, bro. I used to not care about Bordeaux, and Lukey's always telling me like, Corey, stop trading the Bordeaux away, bro. Those shoes are going to be special.
Yeah.
Stop trading. I go and look for the Bordeaux now. I'm like, damn.
Shouldn't have traded them away.
6, 7, like.
Yeah, the last
just-
dance drove up the price of like every retro.
It's just wild how like
True.
even back then with Flight Club and like think about like a Stadium Goods or something like that, and how those markets were able to like persist till now.
Yeah,
Like,
they're making a killing, bro.
Just to think about, maybe we should have seen this coming if they were able to do what they would. Because even when you think about it, back then looking at like a Flight Club, like yeah, those shits was how I want to say it. Like they was still like overcharging from what someone
that's exactly
who
what I was
about
saying.
to sell it to you like person to person.
Yeah.
Like imagine if a Grailed was back there back
that's
then.
what makes it crazy because
Yeah.
everybody knows that Flight Club is some tax.
Yeah,
but they
exactly.
still
Tax
have a
you.
business that is flourishing.
Yeah.
Stadium Goods has
I
a
think they just caught us. Like I don't fault us because it was just like if we had caught them just 2 years, like because we was just on some different shit back then. Like we were still kids.
I don't
So
think
it's
just,
like
just imagine what I would do if I could travel.
we wasn't
back in time.
peeping the game.
I'm about
like
to
that.
tell my
We wasn't
prior
like thinking about
self,
And I
that.
don't
like
think
yo, keep that shoe.
I don't think it was that. It's just the fact that like we didn't deem this buy sell trade and the wearing of shoes as big as it should have been. Like I remember Ian, not to quote this dude, but when he was on fucking Kerwin Talks, right? And he was like, "Yo, I used to get made fun of for buying a $300 Rav tee that was beat up, but it's not beat up to me. This is fucking Rav." That we didn't deem that important enough back then. You feel me? When Sean was doing the buy sell trade and all these buy sell trade stores was coming up, we didn't. To me, I don't think we deemed it important. Like that Facebook group, all these buy sell trade shit we was doing. That's what everyone is doing. That's a business model now.
Yeah.
But I feel like if we looked at it as special as it was in that moment, those fight clubs wouldn't have been as big.
Yeah.
Essentially, it was the fact that we didn't. We were just like, fuck fight club. I'm gonna continue to trade with Jake and Corey. You know what I mean? Instead of just being like, we should make this a thing. You know what I mean?
And that's
like,
what I guess I was trying to say. Like we wasn't thinking business
Yeah.
yet. Like they had caught us right before a lot of people who was like, "Yo, I'm really like it was like before you really start figuring out what the fuck you want to do in life." So it was like it was right before we could start being like, Jake could look at me like, "Yo, I'm really passionate about this sneaker shit. Like for real,
Yeah.
I'm about to take y'all business model and y'all really fucking us up."
I can only imagine what James and Jake could have done.
That's what I was
Yeah.
about to say. That's exactly what I was about to say. I'm
if
like,
the sneakers
oh,
wasn't
shit.
just a passion, if they would have just said,
Yeah.
like, I could actually make money. Like nobody ever
That's
thought
'cause
that
we
we
could
would be to the
barely,
point.
we was
Yeah,
barely
yeah.
making
Yeah.
it.
Like that we can make money with
We was
sneakers,
barely
just
making it as
buying
is.
and selling shoes.
Well, that's like y'all. I'm sure did y'all see the movie The Founder on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like it takes somebody from the outside that really doesn't give a shit about it, that just sees the dollars,
Like-
to give you that formula
That's-
to make that kind of, because it's like the same thing. Those two guys, they own the original McDonald's. You know, they're like, yeah, sure. I mean, I guess we could open a couple more stores. He said, no, we going world fucking wide. And he made that shit happen, you know? So it's like, whereas me and James, you know, it's like, yo, like, I want to be able to, like, buy, trade, and sell shoes, but I want to do it so I can end up with, like, the shit that I really want.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah, we weren't thinking about it like, oh, like, let me build this fucking sneaker empire or
Yeah.
whatever, you know?
Because that's essentially everything you're saying is essentially how StockX came about. I remember reading the fucking interview how he kept trying to sell people this ideal, but he noticed that he was trying to give it to like-minded people. It wasn't until this random person was just like, I can see it. Like I see something here. Invested and look at StockX now. And I was just like, there's obvious reasons why he got that far as well. But like what he said is so true. It's like when we're within the same circle, it's kind of hard to make people see what it's not. Because we're just here already. We're like, it's not that. But no, it really is that. Like,
Yeah.
Because even with me, God told you on the last episode how I should do 2-for-1s on all my shoes. Like, I can only imagine. I had like the For Love of the Games, the breads, the this, that, and the third. I can only imagine if I would have just kept anything of that sort to now.
Listen. If I would have kept the shoes that I had in high school,
You nigga.
me, nigga?
Yes, you. That's what I remember.
If
Your
I would have
shoes.
kept the shoes that I had in high school, bro, I would be driving a Tesla right now.
Nah, bro, I ain't gonna hold you. If James would have kept this
If
shit,
James, I don't even know what James has.
I don't.
Listen,
no,
This is
listen,
sick
bro.
shit. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I know what he used to
James,
have.
you're an idiot.
No, but I remember begging James.
I mean, I understand what it's like.
I
to
remember
sell
begging
shit.
James just to be like, yo, like Frenelations, that's you, bro. Like, just make a YouTube.
Oh,
like,
I remember
like, just make that,
yeah.
bro. And he never wanted to do it, but
He never did.
like that.
And I remember making James take a couple flex pictures back in the day. I'd be like, yo, go get all your shoes, put them on the couch. We're going to
Bro, it was a thing. It was a thing to do. That was so hard, bro. It's really crazy to think. I wonder what's gonna be the next thing.
something.
Like what shoe are we doing now? Are getting? Oh, you think will be a next thing? Because I feel like we're in a period right now where if anything will be the next thing will be a collab. Would it not? Like would it not be like a Travis ones? I guess.
Like you talking about like what's gonna be the next thing as far as the big hitter and like the sneaker world?
Yeah.
Or whatever?
So, well, are you saying like what's gonna be like basically what we're gonna just do now and then later on it's gonna be like super hype kind of thing?
Y'all can, I don't know if I have any top of your head, but I don't know any collab that past OG Nike collab that's hitting crazy right now.
No, well, I mean, I think where we're at right now is just everybody sees like the wearability in a lot of these shoes. Like Jordan 1s is like that's the elephant of the room, I guess. Like literally everybody and their mom has a pair of Jordan 1s now. Yeah. But it's like it's not really a bad thing because I mean to me that is like one of the most wearable shoes. Like any body type, any foot type, whatever, boy, girl, whatever, can wear a Jordan 1 and make it look good. So it's like whatever's next is really just going to be about the most wearable thing, the most comfortable thing, and then the most style thing, you know?
Yeah. I want to jump into like the Yeezy discussion. I'm not sure if we have another topic after this, but how do y'all feel about Yeezy being either over accessible or just enough? Like when we were comparing this whole Supreme thing, because I feel like the slides, right? The Yeezy slides bricked first 2 times, maybe 3. Not sure about the third one, but definitely the first 2 times. Now they're going for 300-400 plus. But he wanted those to be accessible, which they were. Will they be now? Probably not. But how do we see that taking part in the future? Do you think Yeezy alone will be like a Supreme type of situation?
No, but I think that Yeezy can be the entry level for anyone that wants to be stylish. It can be that entry level gateway brand or whatever.
I think so too. Just because
10 years from now, I mean, just like you know when we were growing up, and it's like maybe you're trying to figure out your own style, and you're talking to your parents or your big brother or whoever about it. Like they might tell you, like, man, just go get some Forces or just go get some Chucks. Like I can see Yeezy being that. Like later in the future, where it's like
I see that now.
Yeah, somebody's really, it's like just go get some Yeezy, bro.
And yeah, it's just like exclusive to like a model, like the 350s. Pretty much, it's just those, but. I do see what you're saying. Yeah. I also agree, just because, like, and I don't think it's over accessible, but that kind of lends itself to it being, like, very accessible, but at the same time...
It can be wherever you want it to be. If you want to be somebody that if you really care about, like, oh, well, let me feel like I got the most exclusive thing, you can do that with Yeezy. That's what I was about to say. The most generic... I want to blend in with the crowd, you can do that.
That's what I was about to say. Like, Yeezy has a wide range of accessible, not accessible, hype, limited, not so limited. You can get these, you know, super resale value, not so much resale value.
No, I agree.
Like it has it's weird how good of a range that Yeezy has. Well, I guess it's not weird because they drop so many damn colorways and so many damn styles.
and that's like
every style has 100 colorways and there's like 50 styles. So it's just like Yeezy is like unlimited in that kind of sense.
Because I still walk around.
So you can do everything.
Now, today, like to your point and like to Jake's point, I agree. I don't even think down the line I think it's entry level now. Like there's some people now, and I do not knock anybody's style. Wear what you like. But some people, you know, like, all right, they're not really like the most stylish or like they're gonna.
They just got some 350 V2s.
They just got some 350s and you see them with a
V2s. V2s gotta be very specific about that one.
And I can't look at them and I can't make a definitive decision and be like, how you say, like, to them.
I don't know if I can fully agree.
But well, the reason why is because it's like, there still isn't like a Yeezy that you can just go to any Foot Locker and pick up. Exactly. Just like you can go pick up any Chuck. You can go pick up a black and white Chuck. You can go pick up a white Air Force One and black Air Force One. But like, I think that it will get there eventually.
What was you about to say?
The only reason why I don't see it is because like, this is a meme. So I think this is to y'all's point. The meme is if you go to a concert, 10 star, you can see somebody in V-Lone, Astroworld, Yeezy, or Playboy Cardi merch, essentially. Like, it's a meme, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think that is true. If you are trying to be stylish, you're going to have one of those things on. Mm. But to me, it's like, the reason why I say I can't see Yeezy is because I don't think of someone, if I see someone getting fresh, name anybody today, you're not saying they're wearing Yeezy. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I can see it being that. And go ahead.
I would disagree with that just a little bit. Okay. Just because, like, I think there are still people who get fresh with Yeezy. It's just the Yeezy that nobody can get. That's kind of like what I was saying. Like just think
Give
about
me an example. Somebody.
I was gonna say to what you was trying to say.
Chocolate 750s.
No, but that's different.
You talking about Yeezy that's dropping now?
Yeah, like
You're just saying in general.
Yeah, I don't. If you wear any 750, it's like, oh, gee, okay, you know what you're doing. That's kind of like what you're saying about Bape. But to me, that's not what Yeezy's branding is right this moment. And I'm saying like, what Yeezy right this second, the past 3-4 months that someone's wearing and getting fresh.
Well, to me, it's like you're right. Nobody. Well, that's why I was. Cause you won't see me wear them, bro. Like you won't see me wearing any Yeezys, but that's just because it's like I don't see a challenge in Yeezys, and it's like. Maybe that's something. Again, that's might be something personal to me as an individual. But
that's
like,
what I kind of think.
I see a challenge in like getting dressed and putting an outfit together. I enjoy that challenge. Versus a Yeezy, I just feel like it would be too easy for me to fall into a trap of comfort and just being content.
And that's and who I was gonna say is like we definitely, and like Jake's point, like we have people that we still look back at Wale and we still give him his flowers today in the same amount of respect that he had back then. But like right now, the people that are like getting fresh, they're looking at Instagram influencers, and I know we all could go to Instagram influencer and we see them in Yeezy
slides.
And some slides or like some 350 V2s or like just some pairs like that just wasn't the color, and like that's who are influencing other people to just put on some shit from like Urban, not a challenge. Like, oh, I could go to Urban, I could go to Fashion Nova, and then I could put on some Yeezys, and I'm just like her. Whoever Instagram at name.
That is the thing. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like even like with you, like with foam runners, like I feel like you make the foam runners look like, you know, you actually have to put that outfit together with those. You know, that's one of those Yeezys. I feel like the new ones that just dropped, I don't think. And it really just depends on how they decide to do it. Because if they decide to flood the market with those, then it's going to be the same thing as 350 V2s. But it really just depends. Like with the boots, I feel like that's going to be another one where it's just like, okay, you see
some of the boots with the fashion show.
Yeah, you see somebody in those, like they really got to fit off with those. Yeah, I think it's those ones that you're not going to be able to get that where it's going to be like, okay, yeah, those are ones that's like. Yeah, niggas know how to dress if they put those on.
Because I didn't look at it like that, but I think Jake like kind of clarified it with the sense of saying like, when you put them on, you're essentially still getting comfortable. You're not trying to say like, oh, I don't personally like I'm about to go off of my foam runners. Like I just like, yeah, I got the foam runners on. I like them. Yeah, I like it.
Exactly.
And so I think that is true. I mean, their slides, one of the biggest hits.
I mean, any four of us could put on the bread 350s right now with what we got on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like we would be chilling, you know.
Yeah. So
and it's like honest, and I always start with my shoes. So it's like if I started. Before I came over here, if I started with a bread 350, I probably wouldn't be wearing these pants. I probably wouldn't be wearing this shirt. You know? Like it'd be a lot easier for me just to be like,
Right.
But that's all on the individual again. So it's like, but I think that's just a common trend. It's real easy for people that buy Yeezys. It's easy for them to just fall into a cozy swag versus really trying to put together a fit.
It's lifestyle. That's essentially what it is. Yeah.
Biggest I do like Mark just said it. You're gonna put on foam runners, and if you wake up one morning and say, "I want one of these foam runners," and get a fit off, nigga,
I do think I'm different because I still look at Kanye West as.
But that's what I'm saying. You actually have like it all goes back to the individual. Like,
but I'm also saying like anybody is gonna look at those boots, the orange ones with the like kind of like platformy sole. They gonna look at those and be like, oh no, I can't just put these on a Wednesday. Yeah. Like I have to be going somewhere. I have to be doing something.
And it's weird because it's like even the shoes that we're talking about that are deemed comfortable, they're still weird looking shoes. So it's like like there's definitely two sides to that.
And that's the thing about Yeezys. They're comfortable, but they look weird. But some of them give you like that. Some of them got like that cool status to them.
Bro. So they
do everything. Yeezys really do everything.
I think it's extremely hard to make an original silhouette. So I give him his props.
I think it's extremely hard to make anything original.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah. Yeezy really did that with. I mean, there's so many original silhouettes.
Yeah,
and that's why I give his flowers.
That's the genius of Yeezy.
Exactly.
Like, there's not any shoes that really look like how most of the line of Yeezy looks.
And the fact that he don't got a slap an Adidas logo on it.
Not a fucking thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't want to give off the wrong impression. Like, I hate them. It's just, again, it's all about the individual. They're not for me, but it's like.
So you don't have
I like seeing Yeezys on girls. Like I don't want to sound misogynistic.
So you don't have not one style of Yeezys that you like, not one.
So if I got
not for me, no.
So are you saying you wouldn't buy them, but if someone gave them to you, wear them?
Yeah.
Okay. They're good. They're good.
Yeah, I got them for free.
That nigga will wear them.
Give me some Reeboks. I'm wearing them shits.
They're not cool enough to cut into my budget of other things because I enjoy challenging myself with other silhouettes.
I got you.
Got it.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Perfect.
Interesting point.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think we done here, man. Like
wrap it up.
Yeah. Good
All
conversation,
Like,
fellas.
subscribe, comment, all that. Go
I
ahead,
can't wait to
Mars.
come back. We gotta do it again. I love podcasting.
Fire.
All that
Always.
good shit.
I've been having to
Like,
use the
follow,
bathroom the whole
comment,
time.
subscribe. Damn. I feel bad for you, son.
I'm
All
just
right,
happy
we're gonna
there's
wrap
no
it
technical
up.
difficulties. That's fire. No technical difficulties.
Oh yeah,
That's
second
fire.
episode in a row. No technical difficulties.
Bet.
Fire.
All right.
Appreciate y'all, and we are out of here.
Yes, sir.
God bless.